Hi guys, it's Hinda. Welcome to Cooking Fantasies. In today's video, we're going to be making these delicious Biscoff cupcakes. We're going to be baking the perfect vanilla cupcakes, to which we're going to be adding a light Biscoff filling, and then we're going to be frosting the cupcakes with a delicious Biscoff buttercream. If you are new to the channel, like always, I'm going to be leaving you down in the description box all the ingredients you need in both the grams and the cups measurements, as well as a link to the full recipe where you could also print it. And if you like easy and delicious recipes, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell to get them all, and let's get baking. I'm gonna start by preparing the butter for my vanilla cupcakes. You're gonna be seeing this vanilla cupcakes recipe many times in the channel because they are my favorite ones. They always come out perfect. They are so moist and flavorful. And for that, I'm gonna start by mixing the butter with the sugar. The butter should be, of course, soft in room temperature, and I also added some vanilla flavored sugar, and this is optional. You can use only vanilla extracts if you prefer that. And I'm gonna use my electric mixer and work the sugar and the butter until they are creamy. Then I'm going to add my eggs one at a time while mixing until they are incorporated. At this point, I'm going to sift in the dry ingredients. I have all-purpose flour, baking powder, and baking soda. And before I continue mixing everything with the electric mixer, I'm going to use a spatula just to fold in all these dry ingredients. This will prevent them from flying around when I start mixing. Once everything is well combined, I'm going to add my last ingredient, which is milk, and I'm also going to add a dash of vanilla extract. You can add either vanilla extract or vanilla sugar. As I said, it's optional. I added a little amount of both of them. And then I'm going to use again my electric mixer to mix again until everything is well incorporated. I have my cupcake baking tray ready with some cupcake liners, and I'm going to fill them with the butter. You don't need to fill them all the way up, about the 2/3 is ready since they're still going to rise. This recipe makes exactly 20 medium normal sized cupcakes. You can even make up to 22 or 24 if you want your cupcakes to be small and not all the way full. The oven should be preheated to 180 degrees Celsius, that's 356 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're going to take between 20 to 25 minutes to bake, depending on how much butter you put in each cupcake, the quality of the baking tray, the oven, and many elements. So from the 20th minutes, you want to keep an eye and see if they are ready, and you can tell from the color, of course. They have this nice golden color when they are ready, so I'm going to leave them on the side to cool, and meanwhile I'm going to prepare the filling. This filling, which comes in the center of the cupcakes, adds so much to the flavor and the texture. It's very light and tasty. I took this filling recipe from Cupcakes Gemma, and I find it really nice. It's perfect and it's really easy to make. I simply whip some very cold whipping cream with a little bit of icing sugar and of course with some Biscoff cookie butter, and whip everything together until they become creamy and nice and thick. Once the cream thickens and you have this nice consistency that it holds together, I'm going to place it in a piping bag and prepare my cupcakes. I'm using this tool here to make holes in the cupcakes to fill them, but it's not necessary. Of course, you can use just a small knife or an apple core, whatever you prefer. And now I'm going to fill all these cupcake holes I just made with the Biscoff Chantilly we made before, and then I'm going to close them. For the frosting, we're going to be making a simple and basic American buttercream. For this, you need butter that should be soft in room temperature. I'm going to first start by beating the butter by itself to make it a little bit more creamy and easier to work with. Then I'm going to go ahead and start sifting in the icing sugar that I have already measured in many goes while continuously mixing until you have the right consistency. And the right consistency, of course, would be a silk and smooth but fluffy buttercream. Normally at this point, when making a basic American buttercream, we're going to be adding some milk or heavy cream to make it more soft, not so dry, and to give it this nice creamy texture. But since we're going to be adding the Biscoff cookie butter to this buttercream, we're not going to be doing this. The Biscoff cookie butter is going to provide all this smoothness to the cream. The measurements I'm going to be leaving you down, or the recipe for these ingredients, I find it very nice balance, the amount of Biscoff to the butter and the sugar. I find it really perfect. It's not too sweet, but you still have the nice flavor of the Biscoff. It's not overwhelming neither. It's just the right balance in my opinion. But by all means, go ahead, give it a try. If you're not happy with the Biscoff flavor in your buttercream, go ahead and add even 1 to 2 tablespoons and mix them in. It's totally up to you. And now that my Biscoff or Lotus buttercream is ready, I'm gonna place it in a piping bag with the nozzle I'm using to start piping my cupcakes. And of course, the cupcakes should be very cold. If you pipe the cream on warm cupcakes, the frosting is going to melt. For the piping, of course, needless to say, you can do it however you like, however you prefer to have them. If you don't want to have too much cream on your cupcakes, you can try piping these roses. They look so pretty, easy, and you need less cream for them. If not, you can go for the style I went for. It's because I want to have more volume and I want them to somehow look bigger. So in that case, I'm going to be piping my frosting going upwards in order to be able to add some biscuits on the top. Well, you can stop at this point, but for the last touch, I'm going to drizzle some cookie butter, more Biscoff on the top, and this is totally fine because I really didn't overwhelm the cupcakes with the Biscoff flavor. I added a slight amount to the filling and just the right amount to the butter frosting. So I microwaved it for a few seconds, just that it's runny and easier to work with. Then I'm going to place it in a piping bag. And of course, you don't want it to be too hot, otherwise it's going to melt the buttercream. So it should be still runny, but not too hot. When you make the drizzle, try to make the smallest hole ever in your piping bag and then work it up if it's not enough. Otherwise, it's going to be messy and you will end up with too much butter on the cupcakes. And then I'm going to randomly drizzle all the cookie butter on my cupcakes. And for the final touch, I'm going to be adding half a biscuit on the top of each cupcake because they look nice, because then you know what flavor are the cupcakes, and also you can use them to just scoop some cream and eat them. So delicious. I always like to refrigerate my buttercream frosted cupcakes for some minutes or some time in the refrigerator before serving them or displaying them. It helps hold the shape, infuse the flavors more. I just think it's a good thing to do. It's a good habit. And then you can just serve them in room temperature or slightly fresh, and they taste amazing, they look beautiful, and they have the perfect texture, both the cream and the cupcakes. If you like Biscoff cookie butter, you're gonna love these cupcakes. They taste amazing and they're not overwhelming, they're not too much, they're just the right amount of flavor, sweetness, and texture. Also, I'm going to be leaving you down in the description box a link to another recipe, which is a no-bake cheesecake using the Biscoff. So delicious, it's a must try. I hope you liked today's recipe and I really hope that you give it a try. And if you do, please let me know how it turned out. Nothing makes me happier than all your feedbacks and the pictures you share with me on Instagram. So thank you so much for that. I thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and see you soon in a new recipe. Happy baking!